Hey everyone, it's Lexi. So in today's video, I'll be doing a book haul for the first half of the year. So I do have a separate haul for books that I got on my honeymoon, which I'll link up in the cards. But these are books that I have purchased kind of for this first half of the year. I've actually been pretty good. There's 16 books on here and I've read like half of them. So I feel very proud about that because I feel like a lot of new releases, especially in May and June, came out, and so it was just like one week after another dedicating that time to reading that book, and I'm really excited to talk about all these. So without further ado, let's get started. So starting off with the books that I've already read, I first have Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Obviously you guys know about this book. This is the prequel following Haymitch's Hunger Games. I love this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it had really great points on propaganda, and I felt like it's very reflective of these days right now. So again, one of my favorite books of the year. Next up, I have a paperback version of Funny Story by Emily Henry. I have all her books in paperback, so I wait until they come out to get them in paperback. I usually read them from the library. This one I read last year. It follows two people. One person is engaged and the other one is in a relationship with a girlfriend, and the kind of other people in the couple decide that they want to be together instead. So the two people that were dumped essentially decide that they're going to fake date in order to get back at their exes, and it goes from there. I really enjoyed this one. I read this last year, and like I said, when I saw that it finally came out in paperback, I picked up a copy for myself. Next, I have My Friends by Fredrik. Backman. This is his newest book that came out in May, and it is a very interesting premise. It follows this painting that is very well known, and we follow kind of the story of the friends that are depicted in this painting. So the story is being told to us of the summer that kind of inspired this painting and the events that kind of, you know, happened over the course of the summer. But then we also get kind of the story of Louisa, who somehow gets integrated into this kind of, you know, storyline, and it goes from there. This one again was beautifully written, but it wasn't my favorite Fredrik Backman, but it was still really good, and I really love this cover too. So definitely happy to add this one to my collection. And I do apologize if you hear some construction work. Our deck is completely being redone, so they have like demolished and now they're rebuilding it. So if you hear like noise in the background, it is just the construction. But next up, this is one that I got from the library because I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it or not, but I ended up really enjoying it, and so I had to pick up my own copy, and it is Greenteeth by Molly O'Neill. This follows this kind of, you know, lake river monster called a Jenny, who's been living in this pond for you know, many centuries, and so she's watched this town kind of change and evolve over the years, but recently this woman is thrown into her pond by a mad crowd because they suspect her of being a witch, and they end up teaming forces together because they realize that there's this darker force kind of being involved in this town, and so they want to team up to destroy this evil, you know, force, evil figure, and they ended up kind of joining paths with a goblin. And this book had a lot of great themes of found family. You know, I really loved the dialogue, and the ending of this was really spectacular. So like I said, I had to pick up a copy for myself because I enjoyed it so much. Next, this is one that was a very interesting read, and it is By Any Other Name by Jodi Picoult. This is her newest book, and it has a dual storyline. It takes place in modern day, where we're following a playwright who is struggling, and she decides she wants to write a play about her ancestor, who is apparently one of the first women to have her poetry published. And so we kind of get a kind of, basically the playwright is the story that's being told to us. I'm sorry for the banging. That is getting like told to us through this character Amelia, who lives in the 1500s, and we learn that she was kind of approached by William Shakespeare to write his plays for him. There's a lot of controversy, I guess, surrounding William Shakespeare and if he actually wrote all the books, all of the plays and all of the sonnets and everything himself. There is some discourse, I guess, where people don't think he kind of utilized other authors or marginalized authors to take advantage of it to kind of get that. So now that I've kind of learned that, I do think that's interesting. I hated Shakespeare, so I don't really care too much, but this one was really interesting, and I think even if you don't like Shakespeare, the story was, you know, really interesting. So next up, this is one of my most anticipated books that came out this year so far, and it is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This is her newest duology, and it follows Sybil, who is a diviner, and she's been a diviner for almost 10 years now, and once their 10 years is up, they're able to kind of go back out into society, but she ends up crossing paths with a knight, and she realizes that maybe there's more to meets the eye to what she's been told about these omens, and it kind of goes from there. This one I was super excited about because I really love the Shepherd King duology. I think is her first one, and so this one I really enjoyed as well. I couldn't put it down. It was so gripping and I loved it. One of my favorite books so far this year, and also very pretty as well. Next, I have Atmosphere by Jenkins Reid. This book made me cry, and I think it's probably one of my favorite books of the year. I think my favorite book of the year so far, honestly. It was so incredibly touching, but we follow Joan, who is wanting to become an astronaut. So we follow at the beginning of the book where she is the kind of mission control person, and all the people that she went to, like, astronaut training with are on a mission aboard a satellite or whatever those things are called, but something has gone terribly wrong, and so while this is going on in the present day, we get flashbacks to, you know, the crew when they're first starting out becoming friends, and Joan eventually falls in love as well. This book was totally heartbreaking, but I think it's my favorite Jenkins Reid book, and honestly it was like so moving, and I highly recommend it. It is honestly so amazing. Next, I have the Martha's Vineyard Beach and Book Club by Martha Hall Kelly. This is her newest World War II historical fiction, and it follows kind of a, again, dual storyline where present day this woman has arrived to Martha's Vineyard because this famous artist has been kind of found her name amongst her mother's belonging when she passed away. So she's trying to learn more about her mother's past, and so she has arrived to the island to learn more. And so this artist is telling the story of the family that used to live on the farm that she now lives on, and it kind of goes off from there. It deals a lot with you know, spies, Nazi spies, all these things, and it was really a lot of fun. I've loved her Faraday family, like sister you know, trilogy, I guess, and so this one was another one, her newest release, so I really enjoyed this one. It was really gripping. I loved the spy aspect. I love kind of being on, you know, the small island of Martha's Vineyard, led for a very interesting setting for like a World War II historical fiction. It was very much like a home front version of World War II as opposed to it being like right in Europe, so this one was definitely very interesting and also a really great read. Next, we're moving on to the books that I haven't read yet. This is one that I'm currently reading and about like a fifth of the way through, and it is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. This one I've been told it's kind of involves lesbian and vampires, so I think that's kind of all you need to know, but it follows, I guess, like 3 different storylines, I guess. So yeah, we follow, I haven't even got to the London one yet, but it follows like a bunch of different storylines of these women, and it kind of goes from there. I think it's best to go into this not knowing too much, so that's kind of where I am right now, and I don't want to spoil it to myself. So this is also a new book that I picked up as well. Next, I've heard this book is like really cozy, and I feel like there is definitely a time and place for I want something that is not, you know, super heavy, and so I picked up a copy of Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, sorry, and so this one is one that just seems interesting. So it says, after Tova's husband died, she began working the night shift at the Sewell Bay Aquarium, mopping floors and tidying up. Keeping busy has always helped her cope, which she has done since her 18-year-old son mysteriously vanished on a boat in Puget Sound over 30 years ago. Tova becomes acquainted with Marcellus, a brilliant giant Pacific octopus living at the aquarium. Marcellus won't dream of lifting one of his 8 arms for his human captors until he forms a friendship with Tova. Ever the detective, Marcellus deduces deduces what happens the night Tova's son disappeared, and now Marcellus must use every trick his old invertebrate body can muster to unearth the truth for her before it's too late. So I've heard this one is just really kind of cozy, so I'm definitely excited, and I really do love the spray added on like this edition, so I thought this would be, you know, a fun, lighter read. Next is a series that I had my eye on, and I found like this like perfect edition of it at Half Price Books, and it is a Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I believe this involves a kind of mystery school, like a magical school, which sounds really exciting, but it says, I decided that Orion Lake needed to die after the second time he saved my life. Everyone loves Orion Lake. Everyone else, that is. Far as I'm concerned, he can keep his flashy combat magic to himself. I'm not joining his pack of adoring fans. I don't need his help surviving the skull maze, even if they do. Forget the hordes of monsters and cursed artifacts. I'm probably the most dangerous thing in the place. Just give me a chance and I'll level mountains and kill untold millions, make myself the Dark Queen of the world. At least that's what the world expects. Most of the other students in here would be delighted if Orion killed me, like one more evil thing that's crawled out of the drains. Sometimes I think they want me to turn into the evil witch they assume I am. The school certainly does. But the Skull Maze isn't getting what it wants from me, and neither is Orion Lake. I may not be anyone's idea of a shining hero, but I'm going to make it out of this place alive, and I'm not going to slaughter thousands. And I'm not going to slaughter thousands to do it either, although I'm giving serious consideration to just one. So this one, I've heard it's like a magical, like deadly school, and it is a trilogy. So like I said, I found it, and this looks like it's literally brand new from Half Price Books, so obviously I had to pick up a copy. I read Assassin's Apprentice a couple months ago, and I really loved it, and now I get the hype for Robin Hobb and her books, so I wanted to be able to marathon her series maybe sometime in the fall and winter, so I picked up the next books in this trilogy, which includes Assassin's Quest and Royal Assassin. These books are quite heavy and a lot bigger than her other ones, so I feel like these ones might, take me a while to get through, but I've heard, like I said, I get the hype for the series, so I'm definitely excited to kind of continue on, with this series in this world. This is a YA release by an author that I've really enjoyed for many years now, and it is Under the Same Stars by Libba Bray. I really have loved her books in the past. I love her Gemma Doyle trilogy. I love her I'm like blanking on the name, but it takes place in the 1920s, which was really good as well. The Vineyard Quartet, I think it is, and so this is her newest one that I think has like a World War II side to it. So New York City 2020. As the world stills around them, best friends Miles and Chloe keep each other afloat with late-night phone calls and true crime podcasts. When an unexpected package from Chloe's grandmother arrives, it plunges them into their own cold case investigation. Two unidentified teenagers who went missing in a German forest 80 years ago. West Berlin, 1980. In a divided Germany, under the strict eye of her parents, lonely American transplant Jenny is suffocating until she meets free-spirited Lena, a beautiful punk rock girl hell-bent on tearing down the Berlin Wall, and the mysterious Frau Hermann, a kind old lady whose fascinating stories may hide secrets of her own. Klenwald, Germany, 1939. It is said that if you write a letter to the bridegroom's oak, the love of your life will answer back. The summer that best friends Sophie and Hannah receive their first replies from the famous tree, the world suddenly feels like a pliable, magical thing, as if it could be shaped by their dreams. But soon World War II creeps into their small town. Dreams turn brittle, neighbors turn on one another, lines bloom like poppies between the girls, and the forest is no longer the refuge, but a dark wood filled with unimaginable danger. When the bridegroom oak gives up its secret at last, Miles and Chloe discover the uncomfortable weight of truth, the worth of reconciliation, and what must be sacrificed for a better world. So this one just seems really interesting. Like I said, I really love this author since I've been in high school, so I'm excited for kind of this new release that has like a very interesting premise as well. And lastly, I'm going to be doing a family vacation to the Outer Banks this summer, so I wanted to pick up some like lighter romance books to read by the pool and the beach. I've really enjoyed the works from this other author, so I'm really excited for this one. So I picked up Yours Truly, and then also Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, and so I'm really excited for this. I don't know why I'm like totally blanking on her other book, but I know the one I'm thinking of, Just for the Summer. Just for the Summer, I know is like the third book in this like companion series, and so I don't know where yours truly falls into it, but this was the one that my bookstore had when I went, so I picked up this one for kind of my beach read, and then also her newest release which came out, which is Say You'll Remember Me. And there's also like a little willow under there, so I'm excited. These are the ones I'm going to be bringing with me to kind of read, so I don't really want to know too much about the premise, especially with like romances. I just kind of dive right in, so these are going to be my beach reads for this year. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what some of your kind of favorite books that you purchased for this first half of the year were, and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.